You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards, funky balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Krem, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Well, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 409 of the Better Herons podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ganana, and alongside me, I got Mr. MLS Moves. Will, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, but I don't think I'm doing as good as you and the Inter Miami fans after tonight. I think this was a good rebound after the loss to Orlando. How are you doing tonight? Did you enjoy the game?
I did. I absolutely hate the drive. I am very excited for next season already because, as you can see, we get here really late after the games to do these post games. But a quick shout out to everybody that's currently in the chat that kind of waited for us, and everybody that's going to join us throughout the show. Shout out to you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. And then one more special shout out that I want to make sure I do. My guy, Jack. I met Jack from Australia today. He's been listening. He's been supporting, and it was awesome meeting him. I actually took a picture with him, and I was going to post it, but then I was going to put it up here. But then I didn't ask him if he would be okay with me putting up the picture. So I'm not. But shout out to Jack. Hope your son is feeling better. They flew in. He said that he was worried that he wasn't going to get to watch Messi play. I mean, he lives in Australia. What are the chances that how often does he get to see Messi? But he got to see Messi. He got to see a game-winning goal, a nice little assist. So shout out to you, Jack. It was awesome meeting you. And look, he got what he wanted. So very awesome. All right, and then we are going to get into this and Pedri Potter, Chris's number one fan. Where is Bum Chris? He is dropping his daughter off for college. So shout out to Chris and his daughter. It's a big weekend for them. So, Will, thank you for joining me. We're talking Miami beating Galaxy 3-1. I was oddly confident even entering the 80th minute when we were still tied 1-1. I told my daughter, don't worry, we're going to get a late goal. We're going to win. For some reason, I just didn't feel worried. I thought Miami basically dominated the whole game outside of maybe one magical moment by Pencil, where he basically undressed Cello and Lujan. But it was, I thought, overall a good showing for Miami. The stadium was packed. It was lively. Will, your thoughts on Miami beating up on a really bad LA Galaxy team?
Well, I mean, it's to be expected because Leagues Cup LA Galaxy and MLS LA Galaxy are two different teams. LA Galaxy and MLS suck really bad, like really, really bad. Arguably the worst team in MLS this year. Probably Montreal, but they're close. They're a close second. I expected them to win. I don't know if we knew Messi was for sure going to play. A lot of people thought that he should.
I didn't think he would, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people thought maybe he should just rest and wait till the Tigres game, but he played. I thought they probably would win this game pretty comfortably, even if he hadn't played. But hey, they got the job done against a bad Galaxy team. But I mean, that's what you have to do.
I still think that Messi shouldn't have played. I know that he was the game changer, that he contributed to those two game-winning goals at the end of the game. But I wouldn't have played him. I would have rested him for the Tigres game because that's the bigger game of these two. I think that they still could have ended up scoring an equalizer at the end. They were dominating the game for most part. They were creating more chances. I thought they liked the more dangerous side. And my brother was the one that kept pointing it out to me, and he started taking pictures to show me afterwards. Messi was rubbing his hamstring consistently throughout the game. Now, I don't know if they caught that on TV. If you were in the stadium, maybe you noticed, but he was constantly kind of like bending over, almost like you do when you're trying to touch your toes during those stretches for your hamstrings. He would bend over and then he'd rub his hamstring. And he was doing that consistently throughout the time that he was there in the second half. And that was worrisome. And now I'm hearing people in the chat saying that maybe he left the stadium early, went straight to the tunnel. So people are worried that he wasn't feeling good. And obviously, I think he came back too early. I understand that 3 extra days isn't necessarily a lifetime, but I would have given him those 3 extra days. I think it was kind of pointless to play him today. And shout out to you, Jack. I know that you wanted to see him play, and I'm glad that you got to see him play. And you came all the way from Australia, so I'm glad for that. But bigger scheme, I think that maybe this might screw us over when it comes to Wednesday's game against the Tigres.
Well, I was telling you before the show officially started that if Messi was injured and it looked like he might have been playing with a little bit of a slight strain or something, his hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he was hurt, man, he was still the best player on the field. He still looked incredible. So that's the crazy part is, though, even if he was 100%, when he came on the pitch, he made an immediate impact, and he was the best player on the pitch as soon as he stepped on the field. Hopefully he's able to play again on Wednesday. That's something we're all going to be monitoring closely. They're going to need him if they want to beat Tigres, because I think Tigres might be the team to beat in the Leagues Cup, personally. So hopefully he didn't re-aggravate it and worsen the injury.
I had a guest on from Liga MX that covers Liga MX. He said of the teams that are left, I understand Pachuca and Toluca are technically in the standings the best team, but he says Tigres is the best team left. And of course, that's the first matchup Miami gets. And he feels like I feel if Miami gets through Tigres, they should be the favorites to win it all. But Tigres is by far going to be the biggest test. And not having Messi for that would be a huge loss. But I'm going to say I don't feel necessarily great about our chances, because I do think that there's going to be a chance that he doesn't play, because if he was massaging his hamstring as much as I saw him, and the fact that he just walked straight to the tunnel, it was worrisome.
I agree. And that game is at home on Wednesday, right?
Yes, it is at home.
Are you going to that one?
I might. Wednesday games are really tough. And shout out Deborah Mason. Yeah. It's Jack right there. He's on his phone. 80 hours, Townsville to Fort Lauderdale. However it goes by the 3 Barca boys. My dream day. Shout out to you again, Jack. Much appreciated you joining us on your phone. And I know that's a long flight. My brother told me he was looked into it. A flight from Townsville, Australia to Fort Lauderdale. That's 2 days worth of flights. But I'm glad for you that Messi did play, and you got to see the win. So shout out to you again, Jack. It was awesome meeting you. I usually put up the starting 11, but I got home so late I didn't have a chance to cook that up. But it was basically it's like a 4-2-3-1. You had Segovia playing the 10 role. You had Segovia playing the 10 role. You had Fafa on the left wing, Allende on the right wing. And let me just add real quick, Allende is as terrible as ever. Today he looked horrible. And then you have Suarez as the lone striker. You had Kremacki playing that double pivot alongside Busquets, which I thought he did pretty well in. And then you had Lujan, Falcon in the back line, and Chelo Wagon and Jordi Alba with Ustari in goal. Now, I really was hoping that Ian Frey would play, because I really wanted to see the matchup of Ian Frey against Painso, because I think Ian Frey is a better right back than Chelo. But I will tell you, and I've said this and I'll say it again, Chelo isn't a bad player. Like, he's not a bad right back. I just think Ian Frey is better. But I don't think Chelo is horrible. But he did have a horrible moment where Painso basically made him look foolish along with Lujan. Now, when it comes to the starting lineup, I know that you don't watch Miami as closely as we do, but anything that stands out to you from the starting lineup, even though I didn't put it up, but
I mean, the only thing that stood out to me was, and to be fair, I do watch as many of the games as I can, because you have to, the hottest ticket item,
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I ended leaving the pitch earlier and earlier every game. Mascherano is finally seeing the light. Maybe. Shout out to Christian. Yes, I noticed that, but I wish that he would have left even earlier, like in the halftime sub. Like you were saying, Miami is must watch.
Yeah. So, I mean, seeing this lineup, you just saw kind of like, I don't want to say complete wholesale changes, but you did see resting some guys that you want to be fresh for the Tigres game, because like we talked about, it's going to be a big matchup. You win that game, you have a good chance of advancing to the final, right? Obviously, DePaul didn't start tonight. Ian Frey didn't start tonight. Messi didn't start tinight.
Bright didn't start.
Yep, Bright didn't start. You shifted the lineup a little bit. Segovia is playing as the 10. I didn't really. I thought he was not very good, but the worst I've seen. When you see Allende on the pitch, it's really hard to look worse than that, right? It's really hard to be worse than that.
Allende was really bad, yeah.
I thought Suarez was pretty good tonight.
Suarez was great, and that he got the goal that kind of saved. But he's been playing like that all year. His IQ isn't going anywhere. He finds himself in the right spots. He creates for others. It's unfortunate that first goal for Segovia didn't count. Suarez had a beautiful back heel, but they said Segovia was offside. But if that would have counted, I would have said that that's the best possession of the year in the MLS. Because if you watch that game back, the play started on our right side of our final our final third, and we kind of worked our way from the right side into the center of the box and ended with that back heel. It was just beautiful tiki-taka between Segovia, Jordi Alba, Fafa. It was just really nice overall.
No, I agree. And that's another thing too, with the starting 11, that when I saw the starting 11, I kind of thought, okay, I thought they should be the Galaxy just because the Galaxy are kind of like a wounded duck at this point. Mm-hmm. But I mean, these guys played. I mean, obviously they played better when Messi came in the second half, but they didn't mess it up. They didn't shit the bed, as you better say, right? They didn't do anything that just was detrimental to where they had to climb out of a hole. And so, yeah, I think this lineup did the job that they needed to do, and they're going to have a lot of rested guys Wednesday, which is what you want.
Well, we'll see about Messi, but yes, I agree. The fact that Bright didn't start, I'm okay with that Kremacki started over him because I want a fresh Bright on Wednesday. Same thing with Rodrigo De Paul. And we'll see. I'm excited for Wednesday's game. But getting back to this game, we had that goal that got taken away, but from Suarez to Segovia. I still haven't seen the replay. They don't show many replays at Chase Stadium. So I have no idea of how offside he was. Maybe somebody in the chat can let me know if he was really offside, if it was a close call. But Suarez, I thought, was on it the whole first half. The whole first half was very back and forth, very wide open. And I felt like once the second half started, we weren't pressing as high because we press high. Even though Suarez has his bad knees and, our guys aren't necessarily the fastest or most agile, we still press high. And LA Galaxy are susceptible to turning the ball over, which they were. I felt like we were doing a really good job. But I felt like once we got that 1-0 lead and at some point in the second half, we stopped pressing as much. And I know that it's difficult to press for a full game, but we stopped pressing as much. And I thought that we let Galaxy into the game a little more at some point in that second half. But I just didn't feel worried at any point. I mean, Peck and Paintsel are basically what they have to offer. And what did you think of the Paintsel goal?
I thought it was crazy. I didn't even believe he made it at first. I thought the angle was insane. I had to make sure that he did make it. Sometimes you see a goal and you're like, well, did he actually make it? The crowd loses their mind and it's behind the goal. I thought that was an incredible angle. That's why, I don't really want to beat Lujan and Wang it up too bad because that was just an insane goal, right? The angle on that was nuts.
But look, and I don't want to poop on Ustadi because he had an okay game. I mean, he didn't have too much to do, but getting beat near post again after that horrible game against Orlando, it really sucks to see, especially with the Tigres coming up. But you can't keep getting beat near post. And that was a really weird angle, like you said, the fact that he scored that. But, and I skipped over the first goal that Inter Miami scored, but I'll go back to that. I thought that Kremacki did a good job helping out defend Paintsel because Paintsel is a beast. Coming down that left flank, he's a beast. I knew that Cello or anybody was going to have their hands full with him. But I thought Kremacki did a great job assisting, knocking him down. And I thought Cello did a good job defending him also. Now, I know everybody's going to point to the goal. And I can't say anything about that. He got Cello very good on that play and Lujan. But there were plenty of instances when Paintsel was on the counter and Cello stopped him. And I thought Cello did a decent job against Paintsel. So for everybody that's going to kill Cello, although I want Ian Frey to play. I like Ian Frey. I want him over Cello. I'm not going to kill Cello. I thought he had a decent game. He had a horrible moment, but I thought overall he had a decent game. So it sucks for him that he had that moment because that's what everybody's going to start talking about.
Yeah, well, I think they technically had Paintsel play striker in this game. They had Fagundes on the left, Diego Fagundes on the left side. They had Joseph Paintsel technically play up top. I think that they're saving their striker Nascimento. Maybe they're saving him for their Leagues Cup match as well, because they had a rotated squad as well. They had a lot of young guys play tonight. LA Galaxy did. But yeah, I would say if we had to blame someone for that goal that Joseph Paintsel scored, I would say probably Ostari is the one to blame for that.
Yeah, getting beat near post like that at that angle, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't looked good recently.
Yeah. What was there anybody that I mean, the Galaxy I really don't think played well at all tonight. I think they were pretty bad. Like,
yeah,
so would you say Joseph Paintsel was the best player for them tonight?
Absolutely. I thought Gabriel Peck was non-existent. And let me tell you something. Jordi Alba, one of the greats all time, left backs, all that. But you don't at least since he's been in Miami, I don't really remember him playing like a really good defensive game. He put Peck in his pocket. There were plenty of times where Peck had the ball, and Jordi Alba very easily just put his body between Peck and the ball and just got the ball back. It was really nice to see Jordi Alba really step it up defensively against somebody like Peck. So Jordi Alba, I thought, had a great game. On top of the fact that he was contributing a lot on the attack, I thought defensively he did not let Peck do anything. He pickpocketed Peck on numerous times this game.
Tough to say, by the way. Pickpocketing Peck.
Said, yeah. And Alba was never a good defender in Barca. Yeah, I know he's known as a fullback, but he doesn't necessarily do a lot on the defensive end. But he was on it today. So I thought he had a good overall game today. And then let me go back, now that we're talking about Jordi Alba, to the goal in the first half. Beautiful ball by Busquets. Busquets found Jordi Alba. I mean, he let him right in stride. And I thought that Jordi Alba, because I believe the keeper got a hand on it or a foot on it or something, and it deflected a little bit. But Jordi Alba finished it. After that goal, I honestly thought the route was going to be on. Because at that point, I don't know if you heard on TV, but the crowd, for some reason, Messi and Rodrigo de Paul started warming up at like the 40th minute. I knew they wouldn't come in the first half, but they already got the crowd pumping when they started warming up on the sideline. And then we scored the goal after the fact. And I just felt like, okay, we just got that 1-0 lead. The Galaxy looks terrible today. And now Messi and Rodrigo de Paul look like they might start the second half. I thought we might put 4 or 5 up on them, honestly. I really felt really good about this game. It didn't turn out that way, but at halftime, it's just usually what I ask Chris, how are you feeling at halftime? At halftime, I was feeling like we were going to dominate this game and we were going to have a blowout, is what I thought was about to happen.
Yeah, my whole thing with Inter Miami, and especially when Messi plays any part of the game, when he plays, if you score 1 goal, you never just score 1. You score 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. That's just how it is. They don't normally just score 1 goal. How many games have they, even in the Mascherano era, how many games have they won just 1-0? Very, very, very few. I don't think that really happens. So I felt pretty good. Like I said, these lineups were both not ideal first team lineups, but the LA Galaxy's was way worse. I felt pretty good when that angle that Jordi Alba scored his goal on. I don't know if you saw the replay on it. That was a very tight angle as well.
Yeah.
Very tight angle as well. That was an impressive goal.
I'm not sure, but because, like I said, I think it deflected off the keeper. So I don't know if he was trying to go over the keeper, but I think it hit off the keeper. And again, maybe somebody in the chat can help us out. I think it hit off the keeper and then ended up technically going near post. But I think he might have been trying to go over the keeper. But regardless, it worked. He scored. And I was feeling like we're going to – I was actually worried. I thought, you know what? If we put up 2 before the half, maybe Messi won't come in. And at that point, and I know, very hypocritical because I said I don't want Messi to play. But once you see him warming up, you're like, man, F it. Like, I kind of wanted to see him play because it's so fun to watch him out there. But yeah,
I agree.
So if we go up 2-0 before the halftime, maybe we don't see him. All right. So before I get into the second half, did you hear the comments by Ben Kremacki earlier this week?
Oh, about how was it about how Mascherano, like he doesn't know where to prepare, like he doesn't know where to prepare for a position.
He doesn't know if I'm gonna play or where I'm gonna play, and it's very hard on him. Now, apparently, after the game, Mascherano came in and the post game, and he said, "Nobody's ever said anything like that to my face. Nobody's said that they want to play in a certain position." And he said, when I was in Barca, I wanted to play in the midfield, and they told me you have to play center back. And I said, well, if I want to play, that's where I'm going to play. And then I just kind of lived with it. So apparently Mascherano doesn't sound like he was very happy with those comments. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, because apparently there's like rhetoric going around that Miami hates Americans or something. I don't know.
Well, I just think that it's I think there's a lot of players that are soft, honestly. But I kind of agree. Like, listen, I know Mascherano, like a lot of people
it's
don't
funny
like
because
him.
a lot of people saying that Americans are soft because of the whole Pulisic documentary.
Yeah, yeah. And technically Kremacki is American, but he could also play for Argentina, right? So it's not like, so I just think that there's a lot of these guys that think it should be team first. Don't like it be asking where you're going to play, and like you just do whatever's best for the team. That's like the mentality that there should be.
But you know what? I don't mind that he thinks that way. I think I would also want to know, like, all right, dude, am I playing? Where do you want me to play so I can be prepared? So I get it. I just hate when players feel like they got to go say it publicly, which I know that once the media gets a hold of that, they're like, ooh, this is it. Let me put this out here right now. But just keep it to yourself. Nothing good is going to come from saying it out loud. Oh, we got a super chat. Christian, the audacity of Krem is crazy work. I don't want to say the audacity. I just think that he's young and he made a mistake. Just don't say that stuff out loud. If you have a problem with it, dude, just go to Mascherano and talk to him. Going to the media is never a good idea.
Oh, it just causes unnecessary drama, and there's already kind of like I don't want to say tension, but like, I wouldn't say things are perfect, and this just kind of adds fuel to the fire. But I'll be curious to see if Kremacki's even going to be here in in a week. Well, who knows? I think he'll probably will, but like there's just so much movement. Who knows? Maybe he's trying to get a move out. Maybe he wants to. I think Benjamin Kremacki actually believes he should be starting for this team. Whether he should or shouldn't be, that's another debate. He probably thinks he should be. He wants to play. He's 20 years old, so he's probably just frustrated with that too because he's not really playing that much.
That's what happened with Redondo. Supposedly Redondo asked to leave because he was like he lost his job to Bright, and all of a sudden you see DePaul come in. He's like, damn, I'm never gonna play. So he's like, let me get out of here. Like, and I understand that, right? Because if you're thinking about your own personal career, you need to get on the pitch. So I get that. But yeah, no, I don't mind that Kremacki thinks that way. I think that it makes sense for the coach to kind of give you some clarity on where he wants you to play.
Of course,
but just don't say it.
Keep it internally though.
Yeah,
like go to the locker and say, "Yo, can I talk to you? Can we talk about this?"
Nothing good is going to come from saying it publicly. But look, he got to start today, and he got to play in the midfield. So we'll see. All right, second half, like I said, I thought I was very confident, and then Painso had that just moment of brilliance where, like I said, he just danced around our defense, scored that really weird angle, and that was in the 60th minute, 59th minute. And then at that point, it kind of was a standstill. Like nobody was really creating a lot of chances. It kind of it was a little dull. I felt for like 20 minutes or so. But with Messi out there, I don't know. I told my daughter, like, if some people are leaving, we're going to stay because we're going to win. We're going to get a late winner. And to my surprise, we ended up scoring twice. We got one in the 84th minute and in the 89th minute. So we could start with that Messi one first. Rodrigo de Paul finds Messi. He basically dribbles through 2 or 3 defenders, creates his own space outside the box. And it's just a low shot. I was... From my seat, it didn't look like it was a lot of power behind it, but it still found the back of the net. And Messi just creating his own Messi magic. What did you think of Messi's goal?
I thought it was good. Low to the left. I've seen that goal several times. I mean, like I said, when they score a goal and Messi's on the pitch, I mean, they didn't score the first one on the pitch, but he came on, played the whole second half, Danny. They never just score one. It's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5. They got 3 today. Just a quick side note, by the way, we know Rodrigo de Paul and Messi are boys, right? This is only the second game. Well, I guess it's technically the third, but Messi went out very early in that second game they ever played together. So this is technically the second most he's ever played with him at the club level. Like and it feels weird because Rodrigo de Paul, like he's kind of integrated in now, he didn't start today, and they barely played with each other.
Yeah, that's true. But Rodrigo de Paul, outside of the last game against Orlando, where he was a ghost, he's done a pretty good job. I think he's looked really good. And yeah, today he wasn't necessarily. I didn't think he had an amazing game, but you know, he looks solid like he has. So
yeah, no, I agree. That was a nice goal by Messi. That's just what he, like you said, Messi magic. It's what he does. Linking up with Rodrigo de Paul. I mean, that's what you want. It's what you want to see.
now, what was even better than that Messi magic goal was that Messi magic assist a couple minutes later with that sick little back heel where look, he knew where Suarez would be, and it's just filthy. Like, it's filthy. I don't even know what other words to say. It's just filthy. The goat, the way he created, the way he found it. And thank God Luis Suarez found the back of the net, because there were a couple instances today where I thought he had a good look. It would hit the post. It would go just wide, but he was able to finish on this one. And my thing with Luis Suarez is that he's playing good games. He's just not finishing. And that kind of overshadows the good performances he's having. So if he doesn't score that goal at the end of the minute, 89th minute, there might be some people saying like, Luis Suarez was whatever today. But Luis Suarez had a good game, and because he scored, everybody's going to say he had a good game. He just needs to get in the back of the net more often. What do you think of that goal?
I thought it was a beautiful pass from Messi to La Tortuga. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, it was, like you said, it was filthy, back heel. He knew it, and that's one thing I'm very critical of La Tortuga, right? I'm very critical of him. More critical. I know you give me a hard time about it, but what we saw there, the chemistry, like you said, how they just like are in sync, that is why he's playing. That's why it works, because stuff like that, Messi probably wouldn't be able to do with just any other guy, obviously, right? And that's what kind of makes him dangerous. I think that Suarez in this, he's playing a different role this year. Like we've talked about that off camera. It's just he's not getting the chances he had last year under Tata Martino. But he's been a hell of a playmaker this year. Yeah. And he hasn't scored as many goals, but I mean, overall, he's had a good season. I think that was a beautiful goal. It's beautiful. It was a more beautiful pass, but it was a good finish too.
Baltasar Rodriguez made it on the pitch, which is nice to see that he's been able to play a couple games without getting injured. And he's one of those players that when you see him on the pitch, on the ball, he kind of jumps out at you. Like there's something there. The way he moves, the way he delivers the ball to others. I'm hoping he can stay healthy, because the little bit we've seen of him, and it's been very little, he's looked like he could be good. And hopefully he could be the replacement for Allende, because Allende is terrible. And there was one point where he had the ball on the right flank in the first half where, like I said, he's not good on the ball, but the play slowed down. He stepped on the ball and he thought to himself, I'm going to take this guy one-on-one. And then he tripped over himself. And it was like, God, just like take this guy out of the game. Like, and I feel bad saying that, right? I'm no baller myself, but when I watch this guy, it's very frustrating. Like I really like put him in as a super sub when everybody's tired. If you want to go vertical, that's fine. But man, for this guy to be starting is just driving me crazy. I thought Fafa had a decent game. He was very involved in the attack. And there was a moment there where Fafa and Suarez were very demonstrative, yelling at each other. And Fafa looked pissed. He was pushing people out of the way because he was so mad, and they were getting at it. So, and that was right before, I believe, Suarez and Segovia scored that first goal. I will call back, but yeah. So Fafa and Suarez were getting into it. So Suarez is very hot-headed on the pitch, and I could see how it could be very difficult when he's bitching at you and you feel like you did nothing wrong. So,
well, I was going to say
that was
too,
interesting.
I think Allende needs to be the backup striker at this point. Like he should just be the backup. Like he's better as a striker anyways. He's not a winger. He's terrible in the wing. He's not a playmaker. He's not good with the ball at his feet. He's just bad. I mean, he is. Yeah. He's terrible. I think he should be the backup striker. Baltasar Rodriguez on the right side is interesting. I haven't really thought about that because I know he normally plays on the left, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that they might go for U22, which that's a whole other show, but I think they might make a couple other moves. So I don't know. That's an interesting thing. You think maybe he beats out Segovia?
No.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like Baltasar Rodriguez. I just don't see a spot for him. I think
he'll play on the right side.
I think he'll be a sub, like a super sub. I don't think he's going to be the starter though.
And then I don't remember being a diehard Benja defender. I think I was the first person that started talking about his heavy touches. But I do think that Kremacki is much better than Allende for Josue that is saying that I was a diehard Benja defender. But yes, I believe I was the first one that was talking about Kremacki's very heavy touches.
Yeah.
And then so the game ended 3-1. I mean, I thought it was it's the scoreline that I expected. I didn't expect 2 goals to come so late and for it to be tied so late into the game. But I expected a 3-1 win. I think that's what everybody kind of just assumed because we just can't keep a clean sheet for whatever reason. But we beat the Galaxy, and now we're just preparing for Wednesday's game. Galaxy. Should we be happy that we beat the Galaxy, or just business as usual and move on?
I mean, I think it's business as usual. You got to beat the bad teams. I mean, it's better to beat the good teams, right? You're expected to beat them. They suck, man. I mean, they suck ass. They're terrible, and they're one of the worst teams. You should have beat them. It would be you shouldn't celebrate the win. You should, but you should have been mad if you drew or lost. It's business as usual.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been on our lives very often, Will, but there's this guy Pedro that he seems to hate us because he says constantly that he doesn't like us, but he seems to keep joining us anyway. I don't get it. But he's always letting us know how much he doesn't like us.
I've learned that your biggest haters are actually your biggest fans.
You think
I'm
so?
telling you. Yes. I'm telling you right now. That's how it is. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be here.
All right. Well, shout out to Pedri then for being a supporter. All right. So standouts. We usually choose a couple of standouts. I'll let you go first, Will. Standouts in this game. You can give as many as you want.
I thought Jordi Alba was good. I thought Messi was obviously good. I mean, there was like maybe I think Allende was honestly the only person that was like terrible. Yeah. I think in this game, I think they played pretty well. But Jordi Alba, I think, was really good this game. He was really good in the attack. He had a couple chances. He just looked good. And like, because Jordi Alba, not to spend too much time on him, but I just wanted to say, there were a couple games this year where you kind of thought to yourself, oh, did Jordi Alba lose it? Like, is he just not the Jordi Alba we saw in year 1 in 2023? But no, he still has it. He still looks good. He's still good in the attack. And that's a good sign. So, yeah, I would say Jordi Alba is probably my biggest standout that we haven't mentioned already. And then Messi hurt half a leg leg and a half, still best player on the pitch. So
absolutely. How did Galaxy qualify for the knockout rounds of the League Cup? How bad were those Liga MX teams? They actually got lucky because they ended up against Santa Lagunas, which is terrible, Tijuana, which is terrible, and they lost in penalty kicks to, was it Club America? Or no, to Cruz Azul. They lost in penalty kicks. So because they ended up drawing and going to penalty kicks, that also got them over. So they took advantage of a weak side. All right. My standouts, I'm going to say Chelo, because I thought outside of that one instance, he had good moments. So Chelo, Jordi Alba, I thought Fafa looked really good. I know that he plays on the left. I wouldn't mind him replacing Allende on the right side. Wrong side, wrong foot, still give you more than Allende gives you over there. So I would put Fafa out there. I thought Fafa had a good game. And Suarez, I think those are my standouts. Now we have what's called Que Pena. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Que Pena. It's basically how embarrassing performances. Who gets the Que Pena award for today?
I think we all know who's going to get that award. It's the multi-week winner. I think we gave it to him last time I was on here with you when Chris was in the hospital. It was like what do you say? The worst show of the year, or at least it's good. The contender for it. I'd say it's Allende. I mean, Allende's been terrible all season long. He's been so bad. I'm honestly wondering, Danny, if they're even considering just terminating his loan.
They might. Allende came off. Let's see, what minute did he come off? He came off in the
halftime, I think.
Oh yeah, he was the halftime sub. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what kills me is that Segovia was a halftime sub, which I don't know why. Whatever. Look, Allende got off. I guess that's what matters. Que Pena, we try to pick somebody different, so I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna say Ustari. Last week was probably the worst performance I've seen from a goalkeeper in a very long time. The way he was distributing the ball, giving easy shots for goals, which Luis Muriel didn't take advantage of, but getting beat near post. Like, he was just really bad. And today he didn't have a lot to do. All overall, the Galaxy had 5 total shots, and I think only 3 of them were on target, one of them being the goal. So he didn't have a lot to do, and getting beat near post, I think that was just a bad look. So I'm going to say Ustari. Ustari needs to step it up. I know, I guess technically it was better than last week, but we need him to be Club World Cup Ustari for Wednesday, because he can't come out the way he did the last 2 games and expect a good result on Wednesday.
Real quick, how many games did Rocco start? How many games did Ustari end up missing?
I want to say it was 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, but like you said, they desperately need, if they want to win anything this year, they got to have Club World Cup Ustari back for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it was all of Leagues Cup. It was all of Leagues Cups that Rocco got to start.
Yeah.
So
the first game was Orlando. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's 3 games.
Yeah. Danny is loving the Ustari downfall for his Drake agenda. I don't have an agenda. I really never thought that Drake was going to start this year. I was surprised that he stayed on the team, but I wanted Drake to go somewhere where he would play. All right, man of the match other than Messi, because Messi's a shoo-in always for man of the match. So man of the match other than Messi.
I think there's a lot of guys who you could have said is man of the match, but like I said, I think Jordi Alba. The reason why Jordi Alba sticks out to me is, like I said earlier, a lot of people were writing him off, said he lost a step, he wasn't going to be as good. I thought he looked really good in the attack. You know what's crazy is that they have a left back who's better in the attack than probably 80% of the league's left winger if they play a 4-3-3. That's just the truth. So I think, but honestly, La Tortuga's got to be up there too, because I'm so hard on him. You said he does a lot of the grunt work and does a lot of stuff that's not sexy or flashy, and we beat him up because he doesn't score goals. So it's like right down the middle for me between Jordi Alba and La Tortuga, Luis Suarez. But I'm going to give the nod to Jordi Alba.
Okay, so I'll go with Luis Suarez because we try to do 2 different ones. So I'll go Luis Suarez. But Jordi Alba, like I said, this is the most complete game I've seen out of Jordi Alba all year, defensively and offensively, because for people that don't watch Galaxy very often, Peck is a good player. Down that right side, he is dangerous. And we didn't hear – he got 1 shot, I remember. It was a good shot that Ustari did stop, but he was basically – null and void, and Jordi Alba had a lot to do with that. Jordi Alba was all over the place. He also got the goal. So Jordi Alba, awesome. But Luis Suarez also was killing it, creating for others. He had that beautiful back heel assist, and I wish it would have counted, but he ended up scoring at the end. Luis Suarez, man, if he could just start finishing 50% of the shots that he gets on goal, I think that Miami would be cooking. But, yeah. All right. I think there was something else that I wanted to bring up, but I cannot for the life of me remember. So I think I'll have to leave it here. Oh, and I also want to make sure that I bring up the fact that Battered Wrestling with Tommy Two Time, for those of you that know who Tommy Two Time is from Scarlet Spikes, that starts tomorrow night. So make sure that if you haven't already, Battered Wrestling, if you want to check that out and you're a wrestling fan. Will, as always, much appreciated that you joined me for this post game. Chris is not available, but make sure that you let everybody know where they could find you. Because Pedri came out here and said that he likes your content. So to not get on his bad side, because he doesn't like our content, but he does like yours.
I think both content's good. So I'll just say that. I think both channels are good. You can follow me at MLS Moves on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. You can find me on YouTube. I cover MLS, all teams. I cover relevant stuff. I'll have a Leagues Cup preview with Fabian Rankel out on Monday. To preview the quarterfinals, so that'll be out. I appreciate you for always having me, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Much appreciated that you were available today. Can't wait for Miami Freedom Park to open up because these drives are absolutely brutal. But for all almost 200 of you that have been on here throughout the 40 minutes we've been here, that waited the hour and change that it took me to get home, much appreciated. I really enjoyed doing this with you guys live. So thank you for joining us.
Real quick, Danny.
Go for
it. Help this man out. He is the biggest Inter Miami. Him and Chris have the biggest Inter Miami podcast. He's trying to hit 4K. I don't know how close you were. Last time I checked, I think you were 200 subs away, something like that.
Yeah.
Help this man out. Like the channel. Subscribe to the channel. He's got a lot of viewers who aren't subbed that watch every episode. Help him out. Subscribe. Show him some support. the biggest, the best Inter Miami, I think, podcast channel that there is, and it's not even close.
Much appreciated for that. I love the kind words. Much better has Sun made LAFC. I didn't get to watch today's game. Will, I don't know if you did.
Yeah.
So how did Sun look? We can go into gas bagging, but do some MLS gas bagging. How did Sun look?
He saved them. He saved them. He had a key steal
Did
that
they
set
win
up
today?
the first goal. Yeah, they won 2-0. He had a key steal and the inside the box set up the first goal. It wasn't technically an assist. It was 1-0. They looked. By the way, the game was terrible in the first half. It was horrible. Worst game I've seen this year. It was boring as hell. And then he had an assist in the second half. So yeah, he had a good game. He saved them, I think.
Can I tell you something that has annoyed me over the last couple of days?
What?
There's this really stupid thing going around where everybody's like, Sun has the best-selling jersey in the world, more than Messi, more than LeBron. Like, shut the hell up. It's, you know what they mean when they say that? He sold the most jerseys over the last 8 days. Everybody who was going to buy a Messi jersey, guess what? They bought it when the jersey came out, which was before the last 8 days. Nobody's buying a LeBron jersey during the offseason. The fact that they're making this big deal because he has the best-selling jersey over the last 8 days. Oh, my God. This whole, oh, my God, Sun is here, and, oh, it's such a great, oh, my God. Put it to rest. You know, it's just, oh, like when I saw that going around.
Did you order the jersey?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think it was, but this whole.
We'll see next year.
My favorite thing is that they put the big headline. I think it was on ESPN or something, and they put a picture of Messi and LeBron. It's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me, dude! Like,
we won't know until next year.
Oh, it's so stupid. Like, but I get it, right? It gets clicks, but my God, when I kept saying that, I was like, oh, this is so stupid. But whatever. But yes, Sun has sold the most jerseys over the last 7 days. And if anybody went out and bought a Rodrigo De Paul jersey today, he might have the best-selling jersey in the world today. So,
yeah.
you know.
Well, we'll see. I'm not going to count it until next year when 2 new jerseys are for sale. Then we can count it and see what's going to happen. But, I mean, that was expected, right? Even temporarily that he was going to be the highest-selling jersey whenever they started recording it. I expect that. I mean, we'll see if it lasts, but you know, I'd be more impressed if it lasts.
He is absolutely awesome, and I think that he's a great signing. The need for the MLS to be important sometimes, I think it becomes overbearing. It's like, you see, the best-selling jersey in the world, better than Yamal, better than Mbappe, Sun, number 1 in the world. It's like, relax, we get it. Over the last 7 days, he's the biggest signing that happened. But yes, he is awesome, and he's hard not to like. Right, because Messi somehow became the villain, but I don't think that would happen to Sun.
I don't think so either. I think he's a very likable guy. Not saying Messi isn't, but just there's a lot of hate towards Messi these days. Yeah,
so it's like that saying goes. My wife made a shirt actually, batterfans.com. It has half of his face, and then it has the quote from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yeah.
I think that's true with him, at least, right?
That's my favorite shirt that she made so far. But it's true. Unfortunately, I don't know how it happened, but he's still my GOAT. All right. So again, Will, appreciate you jumping on, and everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please give us 5 stars, comment, review, all the good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and as always, the chat. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Again, shout out to Jack if you're still watching. Safe travels back to Australia. Hope your son is okay. And we will be back on Monday to talk a little more Herons. So until the next one. Oh, wait. We have a Tigres guest to preview the Tigres game. That's right, because the game's on Wednesday. So we already have our guest that's lined up. So make sure you join us on Monday for the Tigres preview. So until the next one. Oh, there you go. My guy, Jack, he's wearing it now. There you go. We support the villains over here in the Battered Herons. Shout out to Jack. So until the next one, have a good one.